Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to our Williams playthrough on F1 Manager 22, Season 2, Round 16. We're heading to Italy from Monza, the Cathedral of Speed. A fantastic circuit, one I think Gasly is going to do very well at and one I think that Porsche is going to really struggle at. It'll be interesting to see if that actually does shake out. How you doing, Anthony? Good to see you. Mr. Water, Packins, good to see you guys. Anthony got P7 with Norris in Spain, good job. And currently P7 with Piastri. P7 with Norris in Monaco, Piastri in 12th. So looks like you're into some nice little form with your Aston Martin file there. Good to see. Right, let's remind ourselves of where we are. We are currently second in the Constructors' Championship, 27 points behind Ferrari. Pierre Gasly is currently 75 points clear of Charles Leclerc at the top of the driver's standings. Théo Pourchaire languishing behind a little bit in 6th with 112 points. A little bit of catching up for him to do if he wants to try and catch up with Sergio Perez. We have just manufactured the last of our spare front wings, I think. Yep, we've got 4, so we've got 2 spare front wings. Hopefully that will be enough for this weekend. And yeah, we might have to manufacture some more. Let's skip on a little bit more. Let's take a look at where our car sits for this race. We are 11th in top speed. This will hurt us in this race in particular. This race is almost entirely top speed. So that's not so good, but we are very good in the medium and high speed cornering still. Right up there ahead of everybody else. Our biggest rivals are going to be obviously Ferrari and Red Bull. That is where Ferrari currently sits, very good in cornering and second fastest car on the grid, which means Red Bull's going to be the fastest. Let's take a look at them. And there you can see Red Bull fastest in terms of top speed, lagging a little bit behind us and Ferrari in the cornering, although they are much better than us in the low speed. And there is some low speed at this circuit. If we take a look at the circuit map, you can see we do have a couple of very slow, tight chicanes. But from the second chicane onwards, the entire track is high-speed cornering and flat-out top speed. So we should be able to get good runs all the way through the Lesmos at the top of the map onto the first DRS straight along the back there. We should get a good run through Ascari, heading onto the back straight into the final turn. The Parabolica, again, it's a high-speed corner. We'll be very fast through that, getting a good run onto the DRS start-finish straight. So the trickiest section for us is going to be Sector 1 because of that chicane. We're going to get a poor exit out of that chicane all the way up to the second chicane. But from that point onwards, the race is really going to suit our car. So let's see how well we can do. Let's set our targets. The incentive is to get one driver in Q3, that's no problem at all. Qualifying position, we're going to go 2 in the top 10 again. And both cars into Q2. For our race target, the fastest lap is the incentive. We should be able to get that if we push at the right time. Our finish position, we're going to go for 2 in the top 10. I'm not sure where Théo's going to finish in this one. He's certainly not going to finish on the podium unless we get some kind of bizarre accident taking out a couple of the guys in front of him, and probably a safety car to help out as well. Quali streak, we've got a brand new one, 2 cars in the top 14. Need to do that 3 times in a row. This will be the first race of that, so it'll be worth 1.1 mil. And this is the final race of this particular finish streak. We need to get both cars in the top 10, and that will get us 3.1, nearly $3.2 million. So a nice potential payout at the end of this race. Let's head off to Italy.
Welcome to Life in the Fast Lane. We're here at Monza in Italy, the home of Ferrari. But who will take home the points this weekend? Let's find out as we get started with the Italian Grand Prix. Monza, a centurion among circuits, dripping with motorsport history. Expect to see cars fly by, as 80% of the track is tackled at full throttle. It's not all go, however, and brakes can be prone to overheating through the tight chicanes that Monza has to offer. This is it. We're down to the last few races of the season, and it's time for that final push. Who will be crowned champion at the end of it all? We'll find out soon enough. Let's get this underway.
And Trucker's joined us as well. How you doing, Trucker? Good to see you. Right, weather-wise, a little cloudy for today and for the race day as well. Very clear skies, very sunny weather for P3 and also for qualifying. We are going to give Logan a run. Let's take a look at our car parts. So in terms of engines, we'll go with this engine for practice, and can I get away with using that one? What's this one at? It's at 78, that one's at 85, and then I've got two strong engines for later in the season. Yeah, let's try and use this engine just for practice. We'll see how much more we can get out of it. In terms of our ERS modules, yeah, taking big hits on these. We can use the first one for a little bit longer, but not much longer. The second one's pretty knackered as well. Looking at Pierre's car, nice and simple, just use that first one. And then gearboxes, running very low on gearboxes for Teo. We may need potentially another gearbox penalty. I really hope we don't. We'll use obviously this one. It's at 65%. We've got this full weekend and a race in it, no problem at all. After that we might have to start using the other gearbox for races. And let's do Gasly's gearbox as well. There we go. You can see the crashes have certainly not helped in terms of managing Teo's spare parts here. Right, so fast lap, we're going to go 21 laps. Driving options, slow that down. And for setup, let me pull out my little black book of car setups that I've been using. And there we go, Monza. I have 5 to choose from. So let's start with the first one. Let's see how we do with that. So it's a 1.0. A 9.0, a 1.9, a minus 3.1, and a 0.95. Let's take a look at that. Everything there falls within tolerance, so we'll give that one a go. In terms of Gasly's car, we'll go with a different setup. So let's just do his run plan and his pace settings. For this one, we're going to go with a little bit less front wing. We're going to go with a 0.5 and then a 9. We're going to go with a 2.8, a minus 2.95, and a 0.65. And again, everything in tolerance, so we'll see how that one shakes out. So that's our setups done. Let's head into FP1.
Radio check.
Radio check.
And green light.
And there we go. Both our cars coming out. They do look more aggressive with more black on the cars like that. Do like the look of them. Right, let's do the usual. Tell them to avoid the curves, protect the engine, etc. There we go. And we'll speed things up.
Let's see what happened there. Now we see the Williams here.
Okay, not a great start for Logan there, but no damage done.
Oh, big lock up there.
Is that another lockup or is that the same one?
Let's take a closer look. Now we see the Williams.
That's him coming out the pits. I think it was just that one. Just a delayed reaction to it. So I was doing a little bit of playing around following our discussions about a new career last night. I was doing a little bit of playing around earlier, and I thought, what can I do with Red Bull if I decide to do a Red Bull Juniors thing with the Red Bull team itself? And obviously the biggest problem is that you've got two very expensive drivers who are locked into 3 and 5 year contracts, you know, very expensive contracts. So how do you get around that? Well, you give them new contracts. It's that simple. So with Max, you just go to Max, give him a slight tweak to his wage, you make sure you give him a nice big signing bonus again, you know, about the same as it normally is on his current contract. You change it to just 1 year, and then you make sure you give him a really big bonus for race position finish, and just change it to 10th rather than 1st. And he'll re-sign on a 1 year contract, and then you can bin him off at maybe a $10 million cost as opposed to a $50 million cost. And then you can do the same with Sergio, and you can offer him a new contract at 1 year, and you can bin him off once he re-signs for considerably less than it would normally cost, maybe 5, 6, 7 million, something like that, as opposed to what it would normally cost to get rid of him over a 3-year contract. So anyone out there who does want to do a Red Bull playthrough but without Max and Perez as the drivers, there's a little hint and tip for you to get rid of those guys. Now obviously if you bin them off and replace them with young drivers who are either reserve drivers or aren't signed to F1, they're in F2 or something like that, then Max and Sergio will be free agents for the entire season, and then will automatically get picked up by other teams the following year. But one thing I did was I thought, well, let's give Yuki a promotion. So I replaced Max Verstappen with Yuki Tsunoda, and so Yuki now is a full Red Bull driver, and Max is gone back to AlphaTauri, back to Toro Rosso where he started. And I kind of like the irony of that. So he's there on a new deal, and at the end of the season, Pierre Gasly is going to go into free contract. He's almost certainly going to go into Alpine, as he almost always does, and it's highly likely that AlphaTauri will pick up Sergio Perez, who is the highest rated free agent, unless Alpine pick him up, in which case Gasly could end up staying or getting re-signed by AlphaTauri. Be interesting to see what happens there. So on my little experimental file, I have Dennis Hauger as my reserve driver, Yuki Tsunoda as my number 1 driver, and J.M. Derivla as my number 2. Another lock up for Logan. Let's call him in anyway, because he's
here's the replay.
Hit the setup
now
right
we
out the
see
park.
the Williams here. Oh, and there's the lockup. That's the last thing they'll have wanted.
We'll give him a little bit more fuel and send it back out again.
Copy that. Pit limiter on.
just need to get him up to 500 points. He's at 366 already, so that's not going to take long. And because we got it right off the bat with the setup,
I think
that's his
someone's
session
run
effectively
wide.
done. It's also going to make it much easier for Porsche stepping in. He can just concentrate on running and getting practice on the circuit rather than having to worry about changing the setup as well. We do need a little bit more work with
Oh, we've had
Gasly,
a spin.
so let's take a look at him.
Who's running wide there?
And the roll bar is off, so that is probably going to be a 1.9. So let's try going to a 1.9 setup, and I'll go with a 1 at the front, a 9, a 1.9. Let's go to a 3.15 and a 1. That looks a bit too much. Let's pull that in a little bit more like that. Let's see how that does. And there we go, Sergeant is done, so we'll call him in, say where on the car. But yeah, that little hint and tip there for you for reorganising Red Bull. You can do that with any team that has a driver that's got more than one season on their contract and you want to get rid of them. So if you wanted to do that with Alfa Romeo and you wanted to get rid of Bottas because he was so expensive, then you could renegotiate his contract to a 1-year contract and then replace him at a cheaper cost than it would be to buy out his contract on a 3-year contract where it costs like 20 million nearly. I think it's like 18, 19 million. You could do that at Ferrari, where if you wanted to get rid of Leclerc and Sainz, or just one of them,
Someone's run wide.
then again you could renegotiate their contract, give them a very high bonus, finishing position bonus to incentivize them to accept the contract, even though it's only a 1-year contract, and then immediately replace them at a much smaller contract buyout than it would be on a 3 or 4-year deal. So it gives you a degree of flexibility. I mean, you could do that with Ricciardo if you wanted to put Piastri straight into the car alongside Norris, for example. What I've done in the past is I've kind of gone in the same way as reality. So I've signed, to a degree, I've signed Piastri as a reserve driver for season 1 just to improve his smoothness so he can actually effectively run as a driver. And then at the start of season 2 or the end of season 1, then promote Piastri into Ricciardo's seat and buy out the remaining year of Ricciardo's contract, which is how things have gone in real life. But it gives you all sorts of flexibility as to what you could do. So a little bit of useful info for you there.
What was the balance, please?
Oh, look at that. We've also got Gasly's car at 100% as well. Excellent stuff. So our cars are set up already. We can put away the little notebook. Don't need that anymore.
We'll get some comments when you're back in the garage and plugged in.
And now we can focus purely on getting our track knowledge up. So we'll put 45 laps of fuel in for Teo. Get him to run for the entire session. And for Gasly, because he's already run quite a bit, we're going to put a lot less fuel in. We're going to go with about 30 laps. There we go.
How's the radio on track?
When we were here last with Haas, that was the race when we had bizarro tyre strategies from Red Bull and from Alpine. I wonder if we won't have that issue this season because it's going to be a dry race. But that race was very strange. The Red Bulls going on to inters when everyone was on full wets and refusing to come off them, and then the Alpines going on to full wets when everyone was inters and refusing to come off them. I seem to remember Alonso getting himself lapped twice, I think, in that race. There. It was a very strange one.
Okay, so...
And of course we came off the back of very strange tyre decisions in the last race at Zandvoort. We had both of the Alphas, the only cars to flirt with wet weather tyres, and you could kind of understand it with Alonso. The track was definitely into wet territory when he made the switch, but it was always going to be a fleeting moment, and the track started to dry again not long after he pitted. He was lapped as well, so he couldn't take advantage of the pace that he could get on his car because he couldn't re-overtake us. And then as the track moved into territory, Bottas came in and put on wet tyres as well and completely destroyed his race. He was running in 6th place at the time, threatening to get into 5th past Magnussen, and ended up nowhere near the points, down in 16th, 17th, something like that by the end. And they stayed on those wet tyres for a very long time. Not until the track was only about 2-ish mil of water left on the track. They came in and put inters back on. By then it was way too late. Okay, that's about enough for Pierre in this session. Porsche looking like he's going to be somewhere in the 50 to 60 range at the end of this session.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
Just a reminder that tomorrow we'll be starting the Haas alternate timeline. Season 2, or the end of Season 1, but with the separate save file, the replacement save file, where we still have Kevin Magnussen and didn't sign Oscar Piastri, because that save file has been done entirely in the space of 2 weeks, as opposed to the old one which we started not long after the game launched. And so was a little bit corrupted by the previous patch. Ironically, because I had a better understanding of the game when I started that
once
file.
again. See you in the office shortly.
The team again finished in third, but ended up outperforming the other one, the other save file. So a bigger gap between Haas and Mercedes across the two files. 62% track knowledge for Teo.
Our race weekend continues as we head into FP3 and then qualifying. Each team will be looking to build on the progress they made during yesterday's practice sessions. When it comes to preparation, absolutely nothing should be left to chance. everything has to be just right. Of course, by the time the cars hit the track, well, there are some things in Formula One that no one can prepare for. Let the competition commence.
Right, so a nice, simple, easy, relaxed FP3. All we need to do is just get track knowledge up. We don't need to worry about anything else. So, medium tyres. We'll go with 32 laps of fuel. That should be enough. And for Gasly, medium tyres. And we'll go with 25 laps. And that'll be enough for him. There we go. So, touch wood, no incidents, no knocks, no spins, no crashes. And it'll be a nice, straightforward practice session.
Radio check. Radio check.
Radio check. Okay. Radio check. Okay.
Truck having some issues with the rain. Yeah, the rain can be a bit temperamental in this game. It is easy to misread the situation. I mean, we did it. I'm trying to remember which race it was earlier in the season. I think it was it Imola, where we completely it was Imola. We completely misread the weather, and looked like we destroyed our race. And then, we got a bit of luck and a strong fight back, and ended up doing very well. Let's see if Magnussen can carry across his form from a strong Zandvoort into Monza as well. That'll be interesting to see. His naturally high braking skill should do him well in the chicanes. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see him making some good positional gains, especially if we get a safety car. And he could be very hard to pass, under braking into the chicanes as well. How you doing, Farah? Good to see you. Well, that's Gasly sorted, but we're going to run him till just after half past because we want to make sure he gets the full points for running in the session. And Matthew's here as well. Good to see you, Matthew. And now we can go ahead and we can call in Gasly. There we go. Porsche not too far behind. Theoretically, we could pull him in right now. He would still get the 15 out of 15 bonus. So, in fact, I'm actually going to do that. Save that extra 10% worth of running. Because, as we saw, his amount of gearbox, the amount of gearboxes he's got left is not great. And that's what we like, a nice drama-free, problem-free practice setup. We got our two cars nailed nice and quickly, and then just drove to get the track knowledge without any real dramas. you're thinking of starting a new game with Russell and Lando in a Merc, okay, that's a good choice. Remember, you can do the same thing again, when I was talking about with Red Bull or Ferrari. You can offer Hamilton a 1-year contract instead of the one he's currently on, which has 2 years on it. And that way it'll be much less of an expense to buy him out. The only trouble is Lando's contract is very expensive to buy out. And it'll cost you, I think, about 20 odd million to buy out Lando, maybe a bit more, because he's got a 3 or 4 year deal, and obviously you can't influence his deal. So, you know, one other option would be to just stick with Hamilton for the first 2 seasons, and then when his contract expires, then just, you know, make a bid for Lando at that point, and replace Hamilton with Lando Norris. It'll give you time and money to invest in the car and the facilities, and it'll also give you 2 years to work on maybe training up a new reserve driver as well, if you wanted to. And then at the end of the 2 years, you'll have had the services of one of the best drivers in the game, who will have the potential to win you both championships in Season 1. And Norris's contract will be 2 years shorter, so you'll be able to get him for a lot less than it, in terms of the buyout, than it would have cost you normally. Okay, so let's take a look at the standings after practice. We know Norris has got a penalty. He is the only one, so no big dramas coming out of the session. You can see at 92% we still have the full 15 bonus, because our setup confidence and our car park knowledge was at 100. We only needed 85% on the track knowledge to get the full 15 points, so we easily covered that. And we saved 3, maybe 4 laps worth of running on the car. Doesn't sound like a lot, but given the state of the parts, it all adds up. Let's put in the best engine we have, which is this one, and we'll go with that gearbox, sorry, that ERS, and then we'll stick with this gearbox. It's okay for this race. Let's move over to Gasly's car. 7% left on that engine. Yeah, that's pretty much done now. We'll go with the best engine we have, which is the bottom one, just by 1%. We'll go with that ERS, that's fine. And we'll go with that gearbox. There we go, that's our cars ready to qualify.
Radio check, can you hear me?
Copy.
Okay, let's send our guys out straight away, hope for a clear run. Just need to get them through to Q2, no real dramas on this run at all. Out go the McLarens and Vettel, and Russell is going to get in the way. Might have slightly held up Gasly, but well, he did. We'll get past Vettel and Norris. Oh, Vettel might have got in the way there. Those times should be quick enough, I hope, to get us through. This is one of those tracks, though, where a little hold-up can be disastrous because the circuit is so quick. Then it really can have a strong knock-on effect if you get held up by 2 or 3 tenths. It's not so much of an issue for us getting out of Q1, but if that were to happen in Q2, it could be the difference between making the top 10 shootout and not. Do I expect my car to go well here? Well, yes and no. We don't have the greatest top speed. We're ranked 11th on the grid, so we're the...
Looks like there's been a lock-up.
we're the 6th fastest car when it comes to top speed, but we are top in high-speed cornering, and everything from the exit of the chicane where Perez is now and Tsunoda, going into the 2 Lesmos, then down that back straight, through Ascari, along the final back straight into the Parabolica. Those are all high-speed corners and flat-out sections, so we should get a nice good run. The downsides to our setup is we're not great in the lower speed corners, and it's low speed for the 2 chicanes, although the exit of the 2nd chicane is medium speed, where we are again pretty strong. So from where Stroll and that are going through right now, from that point to the end of the lap, we're strong, but the first sector is going to be rough.
Good session, well done.
Okay, 4th and 7th from the first session, 3/10 off Max, and another 2/10 off for Teo, which isn't too bad actually. He has got a slightly fresher engine, but shouldn't make a difference at this stage. But of course our drivers did get held slightly, so there is potential for more pace. We'll do a banker lap on these scrub tyres.
And radio check.
And I want to see if I can practice the slipstream for Porsche here. So Porsche is out just ahead of Gasly, but we want to give Porsche the bonus or the benefit of Gasly's extra pace. So we are going to make sure he doesn't fight teammate. And hope that he pulls over coming out of the next chicane. Come on, pull over. Let Pierre through. He's not going to do it, so we're going to switch the commands to make sure that Gasly does not distract Porsche into having to drive defensively. So a little bit more finesse, a little bit more finessing needed to get these guys out in a way that's going to allow them to get out quickly enough alongside each other. In the end, this could actually give Gasly an opportunity to maybe fight for pole if we end up this way round in Q3. Now, so remember, these are scrub tyres. And we did a 1:21.3, which isn't too bad. Let's see how the rest of the field shakes out with that. We are close to Verstappen, who also went out on scrubs. But we are a lot closer, so definitely a benefit to Gasly. But Gasly's the safer of the two drivers. Ideally, I would have wanted Porsche to get the benefit there. He should be okay to get through, but you know, every tenth makes a difference around this circuit. But I talked about it last night. What did I think about what Max did on Sunday? Yeah, we did talk about it last night. Typical Max. He has a very selfish personality, which a lot of very successful racing drivers do need, but it's also an environment that Red Bull fosters. I mean, it was exactly the same with Vettel. You know, they coddled him, they gave into his every whim. You know, nothing was too good for Seb when he was at Red Bull, and it's the same with Max there now. I do think, you know, there are some similarities between Seb's multi-21 debacle at Malaysia and Max at Brazil this weekend.
Get some comments when you're plugged back in.
But there are also some big differences. Sebastian was fighting for a world championship and wanted the extra points. It was still a dickish thing to do, but you know, you could kind of understand it. Sunday, Max had nothing to fight for. You know, he was in 6th place. He was never going to get, you know, higher than that. He's already the world champion. The team are already going to win, you know, a team are already the Constructors' champions. There was absolutely no reason for him to do that. Now, a lot of rumour and speculation is suggesting that this is payback for Checo deliberately, and I'm using air quotes there, deliberately crashing at Monaco to stop Max from getting pole position. That's not been confirmed by anybody. That's still just, you know, speculation at this point. But if it is, how petty and how petulant is Max to have held that grudge for the entire season and to do harm not just to Checo but to the team as well. The team have never ever had a 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship, and he's jeopardised that now with that act of selfishness.
Radio check, radio check.
So, you know, there's going to be fallout, but you know, Max will walk away from it, you know, unscathed. You'll get a slap on the wrist, but nothing more. Team orders shouldn't be a thing. Yeah, I agree, but team orders have always been a thing in Formula One. Always. You know, it's a team sport in the end. I mean, at least the teams look at it as a team sport. The drivers obviously look at it as an individual sport. For them, you know, the glory is in winning the Drivers' Championship. For the teams, the glory is in winning the Constructors' Championship. Having a driving championship is nice, but they want the Constructors. There are, you know, we all remember the Valtteri exchange. Yeah, there are instances of that littered throughout Formula One. Let's not forget, Fernando is faster than you. Confirm. You know. It was banned, but it still happened. You know, teams just weren't overt about it. You know. They were, you know, they did it in code, and everyone knew it was going on. It's just it wasn't broadcast to the world, but everybody knew team orders were a thing. Hence the multi-21 controversy that we talked about a moment ago. That was a coded team order because team orders were, you know, were banned at that point. Right, let's see if we can get this right. So, can we get the guys out at the same time? Yes, we can. Excellent. So now we can switch their positions. So this will give enough of a They're close enough for Porsche to move over and let Gasly through. Well, they should be close enough. There we go. He goes through. So Gasly's going to run ahead. Porsche is going to get the slipstream. And that should hopefully give him a better chance of starting a little higher up the grid. Nice to see Russell win. Yeah, Russell's been a serial winner in every category. You know, he won the F2 championship, he won the F3 championship, he's won in karting. He's always had that potential, you know. It's just, he's finally had the chance to realise it. He came so close when he subbed for Hamilton, when Hamilton had COVID at the Sakir Grand Prix. And the team kind of let him down along with a little bit of bad luck, and it ended up being Checo's first win. He's always had that pace. He's always had that talent. He is a supremely gifted driver. He just hasn't had the equipment to show it until this season. And even in an underperforming Mercedes, he's still shown how strong a driver he is by way of his performances against Hamilton. And now to take his first win, you know, he's been, he's been fantastic. Right, here we go across the line. Where do we finish? Gasly goes 4th and Porsche 6th, and that slipstream got him ahead of Ocon. So not a bad starting position, very close between the top 4, just 700ths between 1st and 4th.
The time has come to fight it out. It's race day.
Qualifying went well for Williams, as attested by their strong position on the grid. Now it's all about finding that edge for the race itself. We saw a reasonably good qualifying performance from Ferrari, and they certainly have a good chance to capitalize during the race. We've been having sunny weather here today, but there are some clouds looming that might complicate things for teams further down the line.
Well, one thing we do know, this race is going to be fast, and Monza is ready for it.
Why is Stroll in F1? He's such a dangerous driver. Money, basically. I mean, F1 has always been a rich man's, plaything. But in terms of the drivers, it used to be that, if you had the talent, you had a good chance of getting a drive. Now, that is less and less the case, and has been for a couple of decades now. They've always been pay drivers, drivers who get a seat because of the financial backing that they bring with them. And while Stroll has definitely had glimpses of showing what he's capable of, he's never had the consistency that's required. And if he hadn't had such huge financial backing from his father, then he wouldn't have stayed in F1 as long as he did. And then obviously his dad bought Racing Point, or Force India when they became Racing Point. So again, he's got that financial backing. He's now, his dad owns the team he drives for. So yeah, he's not going anywhere, unfortunately. Any other driver who didn't have that backing, or the backing to the same extent that he did, wouldn't have stayed in the sport as long as he did, and would be gone by now. I mean, you look at Pastor Maldonado. He had some talent, but he was too much of a liability at the same point, and eventually, once that money dried up, he was gone. Okay, so we're going to go. I would normally like to go medium to soft, but I think more important is because our top speed is lacking a little bit. More importantly for us is to make sure that we stay with that breakaway train at the front. So we're going to start on the softs for the extra grip, and then try and keep our drivers, together, so that when they do make their stops, they can work with each other on the medium stint. And if we do get a late safety car, we can switch onto a set of fresh softs and really attack again. We're going to leave the fuel alone so that we've got some, because this is quite a high fuel burning circuit. In terms of off the line, we're going to push for the first lap and see what that does, and then probably calm down going into the second lap. Right, here we go.
The drivers there lined up on the grid under mostly sunny skies. There we have Pierre Gasly. They're in the front half of the pack, so there's plenty of potential for them. And looking at the second Williams car, with a top 10 position on the grid, this race could really go either way for them. The race start is mere seconds away. Here we go. It's the Italian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
Alright, here we go. Gasly holds on to 4th, Porsche drops to 7th. Ocon getting a great start, he's up to 5th. Porsche kind of bottled in at the moment. Under threat from a few different drivers. Can we go around the outside of Perez here? He's making a very slow start. Perez is on the mediums. Ocon got a great start on mediums as well.
Nicely done.
And we are potentially in trouble because Leclerc and Verstappen are on mediums.
And a new position just gained by Williams.
Which means they're going to hold us up. They're going to benefit from our pace if we get past, and then they're going to pull away from us when our tyres start to fall off. And then they're going to have softs to attack the second half of the race. So already we could be a little disadvantaged here.
From Williams.
Awesome, keep it up.
I think our best chance for winning this race with Gasly is for us and Sainz to try and break away from Leclerc and Verstappen. And if we could bring Porsche along for the ride, even better.
Very good job, Pierre.
Nose to tail. Okay, looking at the split times. Don't quite have the 1 second Gasly needs to break away. But even if he did, he doesn't have the support of another driver up there with him, so that wouldn't do him any favours. So we are going to calm Gasly down.
Need to drop the pace. Yeah.
He has the 1 second now, but it won't stay like that. And we're going to calm down Teo as well.
What can we do? Lift and coast. And DRS enabled.
As soon as we hit the DRS zone, I'm going to start charging Porsche back up. Any chance of a safety car? Who knows? Maybe. If we do get one, we want one in the second half of the race so that we can go into soft.
Okay, let's go recharge on.
And now we're at the point where Verstappen's going to leapfrog Leclerc and start closing down Gasly. And, you know, Leclerc will potentially leapfrog Verstappen, or Sainz might get Leclerc. We are strong through this, but already you can see that 1 second gap has gone now. It's under a second, which means DRS for Verstappen and Leclerc and Sainz and Porsche. We have pulled away from Ocon though. Vettel's up there as well. Vettel's in 7th. So Perez struggling at the moment, down to 8th. Hamilton's dropped off the back of Perez, so he's vulnerable to DRS. He's got Bottas behind him. Magnussen's just about hanging on, with Russell right with him. Alonso's down in 13th. So some of the teams that we saw starting well, starting to struggle a little bit. Mercedes have not been great over the last few races. They will come good in some places towards the end of the season again. Got to make sure I don't drop off the back of the train. This is our strongest part of the circuit. And we just stayed in. And now I can go back into harvest again.
Alright mate, recharge on.
Yeah, we're seeing Alfa Romeo really struggling in the last few races. They're just not picking up the points like they were early at the start of the season. And Alpine have been coming good. Oh, we're in trouble. We're going to drop off. I've got to
so
push.
we'll go recharge off.
Going to push coming out of here and hope I can close back up under braking. I did leave Porsche on charge too long, unfortunately. We close up under braking, get a good launch out of this corner, and then we can go back into neutral. There we go. Gasly's going to hold off Verstappen for a while, simply because he's got better tyres at this point, but that will change in a few laps. Oh, we got a spin, and it is Zhou again. This is becoming a regular feature. Oh, Perez has spun.
Let's have a look. So let's look at this. There's Sergio Perez.
Oh, he just clipped the inside curb, and that's going to drop him all the way to the back of the grid, or near the back of the grid. Oh, he's actually got away with that. He's down in 13th. I'm surprised. I thought he'd be further down than that. Verstappen's got past Gasly with the DRS,
okay,
but Gasly should get that back on the main straight. I can now actually start charging Gasly up.
Charge on for now.
Yeah.
With a slower car. I say slower car.
Okay, recharge on, recharge
with the
on.
car on slower tyres at the front, it means that we can charge both our cars back up a bit more easily. It is a hard track to recharge, Trucker. Yes, you're right. Any track is hard, but this one especially because you need that. You know, you lose so much time if you're not getting that acceleration out of the corners, chasing down a fast car. And there you can see
So we keep
Leclerc
focusing on
got
the
through
pace.
as well, because we weren't using the battery.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
What I might do, once I've got the batteries charged up a bit more, is actually drop their tyre pace slightly, try and protect the soft tyres a little bit more. Maybe just squeeze an extra couple of laps out of them, or at least have a little bit better wear when I make my stop. can't afford to drop the pace at the moment though, not while I'm charging. It will drop me off the trains. Sainz is struggling to keep up. I wonder if he's still running an older engine. We saw him very off the pace at Zandvoort. He seems to be struggling to keep up a little bit here as well. Maybe he just had a bad lap. Leclerc takes the lead. We are almost charged with our drivers. Next lap will be the last lap that we need to do this. And you can see the two Alpines running in tandem behind us. Obviously Perez dropped out of that with his spin. Russell has closed up behind Hamilton. Okay, there we go. We can now turn off the charging.
Charge off.
Copy.
Just in time as well, because Porsche was dangerously close to dropping off there. And let's look at maybe dropping the tyre pace slightly for Gasly.
Need to drop the pace.
Okay.
We'll do this as a one-lap experiment, and then maybe do the same for Teo, who is still on the edge of getting dropped here. He should gain some time here in the braking zone. Yes, he did. Good.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please.
Another sector 2 spin. That looks like it is Stroll, maybe.
I think someone's run
No,
wide.
Vettel's gone wide.
Let's take a look at the replay.
He probably just clipped
Taking
a little bit of the gravel.
Again, it involves Sebastian Vettel. They're way off the racing line there. That isn't good.
He just got back on in front of his teammate there. That could have been close. Okay, us protecting our tyres like this isn't really going to do us a huge favour against Leclerc or Verstappen, but it will help us out in the fight with Sainz. It will potentially give us a bit of pace to break away from him around the pit stop window. And if we can drop one of the Ferraris, that's one less car we have to worry about. You can see running this lower tyre pace that we do lose ground in the first sector, but we can pull that back in the second sector when we start hitting those high-speed corners, the Lesmos, and then through Ascari. It's all high-speed cornering, and of course the Parabolica as well. Oh, Gasly with a sneaky look at the inside of Leclerc there. Knowing that our car doesn't have great brake cooling, I get nervous every time we head into that corner, just waiting for a lockup from one of our two drivers, mainly from Porsche, just ploughing into the back of Sainz, which will almost certainly have a knock-on concertina effect into the back of Gasly. Surprised Magnussen hasn't locked up into the first chicane yet. Well, no, I mean, Magnussen's been driving well recently. I mean, he had a great race yesterday. If Haas have been working on improving their brakes, then you know, Magnussen's braking stat is one of the better braking stats in the game. Max has got the highest at 93, Gasly's at 91, I think Norris is at 91, Lewis is right up there, I think around 90, Magnussen 88, you know, it's very high. The only thing that causes the mistakes for for Magnussen is he's a very aggressive driver, so he's more likely to go for the overtake or the late braking, which is in turn, if the car's got bad brake cooling, means he's more likely to have a lockup. As Max powers through, you can see Gasly closing up under DRS. Let's take a look at the tyre wear. So you can see the condition of our tyres is much better than Sainz at the moment. Sainz starting on scrubs, I'm guessing, because we haven't said that much. If we look down, we had those 2 push laps, and we've almost got back to where we were in terms of, or back on parity with the other guys who started on fresh softs like Russell and Magnussen and Stroll and Schumacher. Zhou's tyres actually looking very good indeed. He's got decent smoothness by the look of it, but you know, a long way back. Completely isolated as well, running on his own, which is why he's so far off the back of the group. Porsche is now in trouble. He is now off the back of Sainz, so we do need to give him
pick our pace up. Let's go.
a little bit of a push just to get him back in range before it gets too unachievable.
No lift and coast required from our side at the moment.
Science is definitely benefiting from being in Gaston's DRS here. Just gotta hope we can get Teo caught back up before he gets too far away. I think another reason Joe's smoothness rating isn't fantastic, but it's not horrendous. But I think another reason why his tyre wear is better is because he's just driving at a slower pace because he hasn't got that slipstream to make him drive as fast through the high-speed cornering. Come on, Teo, you're so close. I'm going to have to push his tyres for a lap.
Alright, buddy, push.
Before I run out of battery. See, the problem is we lose 4/10 of a second on that DRS straight there, and then same again on the main straight, which is even longer. I'm going to try and help him out a little bit.
Charge on.
Slow down the acceleration of Gasly a little bit coming out of the chicane.
Can't do anything.
Okay, keep it clean. Focus on the pace.
Almost there. No battery left. But we just about managed to get him back. We had to sacrifice an overtake on Leclerc to do it. But it was definitely worth it. Because the amount of time Porsche would lose would be ridiculous.
No more DRS.
Dropping off the back of this group.
Lift and coast required.
Might as well put him in harvest now because he's got no
Recharge
battery
on,
to
please,
use
recharge
anyway,
on.
so... There we go. At least we got him back onto the back of the train. That was touch and go there. And I say it would have completely ruined any chance he had of a podium if he had fallen off the back.
And recharge off.
Okay, charge on.
Copy.
Come on, don't fall off the back again. I've only just got you back on. Yes. God damn it. How long till this pit stop? 6 laps, including this one. I think Porsche is too far gone now. I don't think I can save him. I should have just gone straight, saved him on neutral. and then close right back up. Would a safety car help now? It would help the soft runners. It would certainly hurt those on mediums because it'd be too early for them to make a stop. Going on to hard tyres is a death sentence to your chances of winning this race. And the soft runners would be close enough to their windows to stretch the mediums just about. Yeah, even slowing the acceleration down Porsche just isn't going to catch back up. So Porsche's race is effectively a fifth now, unless something happens to one of the guys in front. A bit of a shame, but it is what it is.
Charge off.
Yeah.
It's my own fault putting him back into recharge too quickly. But he's still very comfortable in 5th place at the moment. 8 seconds ahead of the 2 Alpines. They will gradually start to close on him as they keep swapping positions. It will be a very gradual closing. The only real chance we've got for him now is if we can somehow manage to drop Sainz. He could fight to catch back up to Sainz. I mean, I could sacrifice a little bit of position with Gasly, which I think is going to happen now anyway, without even trying. And then try and sprint away. See the mediums now in much better shape than the soft runners. We are in our pit window for Gasly, but Sainz is going to get the overtake here. Now if he can stay just outside of a second, then we can take him here, because his tyres are going to be garbage now.
Ferrari, advance the race position!
And he is, so we are going to go for it.
Let's go for a push.
We're going to go for the overtake. We're going to go for a fastest lap attempt in the process and try and drop Sainz here. He's not going to get the overtake. Damn it.
Need to drop the pace.
Okay.
Alright, we'll try coming out of Ascari. On the run into Ascari, we'll try and break, out of Lesmo too.
Let's lift off, please.
Copy.
Again, no overtake. Alright, this is hurting us now. We are dropping off the back of the front two faster than I would like. If I can get past him, I can push and try and catch up, but we're due a pit stop soon anyway. But I wanted to be with them at their pace at this stage of the Grand Prix.
Only can use the deploy.
And there goes Sainz into the pits.
Yeah, copy.
Right, let's try and put a little bit more battery into Porsche's
No
car.
lift and coast
He's going to be
required.
pitting in the next couple of laps. Need him to be able to try and push on Sainz a little bit when he comes out. Sainz is going to be quick because he's going to be on fresh rubber. All the other soft runners starting to pit. A safety car right now would be perfect, because all the cars that would benefit have just pitted, apart from us. And it's still too early for the mediums to get away with it onto a set of softs. I think they would, if they pitted, they would have to make another stop. So a safety car right now would be absolutely perfect.
Box, 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 box.
So box this lap, please.
Okay, didn't get the fastest lap, not surprising. Got enough of a gap between our drivers, got some battery in the car. Let's
go
save the
recharge
last
off,
of that
recharge
battery.
off. Can we do lift and coast?
We'll keep pushing that so that we can try and stay, stay ahead of Sainz if we can when he pits, which will be tough. But I think we might just about be able to get away from him. Still got a couple of corners left for that safety car to hit and do us a massive favour.
Charge on, charge on.
Okay.
If the safety car comes out now,
Yeah, in the box.
I'm going to be pissed.
Copy.
Although it would still actually do us a favour because it would put us right on the back of the slow medium runners. Beautiful double stop there, 2.3 seconds for Teo, 2.4 seconds for Gasly, great stops. Sainz going through, we're ahead of Sainz with Porsche, with Gasly. Porsche is behind Ricciardo and Norris. And Sainz gets ahead of Gasly.
Charge off.
Yeah.
Okay, crucially, because Vettel was behind Porsche and pitted earlier than Porsche did, crucially, we did get Porsche back out ahead
Okay,
of Vettel.
charge on, charge on.
Copy.
Ocon is still on mediums, but Vettel was also on softs. So now Gasly can work with Sainz while also charging his battery at the same point to try and reduce the gap to Verstappen and Leclerc, so that when they pit, they hopefully come up behind us. That was the perfect double stack. I've actually got one slightly better, which I'm going to upload probably as a short in the next day or so with my Mercedes file. Porsche closing in on the two McLarens. Once we get there, we'll charge up and then try and get past them quickly. Right now, Gasly just nicely tucked in behind the Ferrari, getting his battery back up to full. There's Perez, we're closing him down. Let's see. Sorry to the 125.2. Not that much faster than Leclerc and Verstappen. But then he was running in clean air, they were running in leapfrog. We're doing 125.1, so we're lapping half a second, 4/10 of a second faster than Verstappen, 7/10 faster than Leclerc. Obviously they swapped positions on the last lap. Porsche lapping 7/10 faster than Ricciardo, but considerably faster than Norris, 1.2 seconds faster. He'll be on them pretty quickly. There's the gap. That long shot there brings back memories of watching that exact same shot on TV as a kid, back in the late 80s and early 90s on BBC.
You're doing a good job.
Alright, just need to hold the charge for a little bit longer.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
Porsche now almost in striking distance, which means charging distance. There we go.
Recharge on.
It'll only take 2 laps to get Porsche's battery full, if that. Sainz goes through, that's fine. I wanted Sainz to get back past again.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
Because I wanted an almost full battery at the start of the lap. There we go.
Charge off.
Copy.
Oh, shh.
The brake.
We can take a look now. Now we see the Williams here.
I've been waiting for that to happen. And I thought it was going to happen with Teo. I didn't think it was going to happen with Gasly.
Goodness me, that is a serious collision.
Okay, that's damage to the front wing.
And that was a bitter blow for the team. And it may have really hurt their overall
We
chances.
get a penalty for that, obviously. Minor front wing damage. I'm going to ignore that for a second. I want to see how...
Car's off there.
It's just that. And it's only a yellow flag, no safety. Luckily we didn't lose too much time as a result of that, but we lost enough. And we now have that 5-second penalty. So the win's gone. Podium might still be on, but it does involve getting past and sprinting away from Sainz, which will be difficult with front wing damage, but it depends if Sainz has got more damage to his car as well. Sainz has rear wing damage,
Very good job.
maybe chassis damage as well, then, you know, who knows.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
if we get a safety car, I will definitely be changing that front wing and serving that penalty so we don't have to worry about it at the end of the race and putting on some softs. Oh, Norris getting a bad line through the chicane there.
Okay, good job.
Let's
Get
take
a
a
replay
closer
of that.
look. Now we see the Williams here.
Yeah, he had to slam the brakes on so he didn't hit Ricciardo, and we capitalised beautifully
Gaining
on
a
that.
position there.
Okay, Porsche is now ready to go for it.
So a recharge off. Nicely done.
I'm hoping, as bad as this sounds, I'm hoping that there has
No
been
lift
damage
and
done to
coast
Sainz,
required from our side at the moment.
that it will make it easier to get away from
And a
him
new
and
position,
give
just
Porsche a
gained
chance to
by
hunt him
Williams.
down. I'm going to try and sprint Gasly away from Sainz once we catch up to Perez. At the moment I can't really assess the situation with Sainz's car because he's just getting DRS, so we're not dropping him. But once we'll get within striking distance of Perez, I can try and sprint away from Sainz onto the back of Perez and leave Sainz stranded.
Ferrari,
And then we can
advance the
see
race
just what
position.
the kind of pace situation is like for him. Perez doing 126s now, which is about a second a lap slower than Gasly's doing. Sainz had a fast lap because he had DRS overtakes. And is this an overtake? It is. Okay, so we're going to push.
Okay, we need some deploy.
Okay.
I don't think
This
we're going to be able
was
to drop Sainz, but we should at least be able to get on the DRS of
And we
Perez.
have margin to push a little bit more on the tires.
Copy.
And then try and leapfrog Perez on the main straight. It's going to be close. Oh, I don't think we got it. I don't think we got it. Nope, we just missed it. Oh
That
no,
was
we
a
did
very
get it.
good
We
lap.
got the DRS. Beautiful. Okay, can we get Perez here as well? Perez blocks us and we lose a little bit of time to Sainz because of it. Sainz closing up. Here we go. This is the breakaway from Perez. Sainz will hopefully get held up behind Perez. He is.
You're doing a good job.
Can we sprint away from Perez? And hope that Perez holds up Sainz on the
And
main
there's
straight.
an overtake from Williams.
DRS disabled, DRS disabled. Lift and coast required.
Sainz is getting through. Got to keep pushing for this next lap then. Oh no, Sainz is... Yeah, Sainz is through. Okay, the gap's at 1.2. That's what we need.
Need to drop the pace.
Copy.
Now we can see if we've got more pace in the car than Sainz. even with our front wing damage. So far the answer is yes, but this is because we're in the strongest part of the track for us. We'll see what it's like going through Sector 1 next time around. Perez is just clinging onto the back of Sainz right now. That's going to get harder and harder. Okay, 1.8 going into the chicane. 1.8, well, 1.9 coming out of the chicane as we go into the DHL bridge. So we'll see what the gap is going through the bridge next time. That's the slow first sector out the way for. We lost about a tenth through that sector. Let's see if we can gain that back through here. And Verstappen pits. Okay. The gap was about 20 seconds. So he's going to come out somewhere around this point. And yeah, you can see we gained 3-4 tenths of a second on Sainz through the second half of the lap. And we're coming out ahead of Verstappen. Just. That could actually throw things out a little bit. What happened there? 3 into 1 does not go. Okay, Leclerc is isolated now. He's probably going to pit at the end of this lap. And you can see the number 1 on his car. He stays out. Our current world champion is going another lap. We are almost on the back of Ocon.
We need a little bit more lift off if you can, please. We need a little bit more.
Oh, and Ocon's pitted. Damn it, I was hoping to get a little bit of charge off the back of Ocon. Perez pits as well. Porsche was able to close up a little bit on the back of them. But Verstappen is going to drag Sainz along back into the fight with me. That's not so good. So a 20-second lead means we are going to come out ahead. Or, Leclerc's going to come out behind Gasly. He's going to be right there
There's been a lock-up.
with Sainz and Verstappen. I think just behind them.
Let's see what happened there. Okay, so there we have the Alpine.
Big
And yes,
lock-up for
that's
Vettel, but
the
he got
lock-up.
away with it because there was nobody else around.
The team are devastated.
That will cost him maybe a second. Maybe two. Here comes Leclerc into the pits. It's an okay stop. Not the fastest. We're coming out of the Parabolica now. There we go. Just saw us whizzing through. There's Verstappen and Sainz. And just out of shot was Porsche. We go through into the lead. Where is Sainz going to feed into this fight? Is he going to get ahead of his teammate? He does. Oh, that's perfect. Sainz gets ahead of Leclerc. That's perfect. Sainz is the slowest of those three cars, so for him to be holding them up, even if it's only for a lap, works for us. I think Leclerc's going to get him on this lap. But no team orders, so gonna have to work for it. No, yeah, he's gonna go straight past him. Verstappen's gonna get him as well. Up the inside into Ascari. Side by side through there is Brave, but he gets the move done, and Leclerc, just like that, has retaken second place. Verstappen's through, and Sainz drops 2 places in the space of, you know, one straight. All 3 of them are going to get onto the back of Gasly pretty soon. See Porsche in the background, 6 seconds back now. Yeah, the only chance we've got of getting him back into the fight is to deliberately slow everything down with Gasly, which we can't really afford to do with him having a 5-second penalty. Hopefully these two will drop Sainz pretty quickly. Oh, it's a wide for Leclerc. That's going to hold everybody up. That's excellent. We gained 6-7 tenths of a second from that. Sainz, lock up and take everyone else out in front of you. That would be perfect. Big lock up from Sainz here into turn 1. Take out all 3 of them. Call for a safety car. Hell, even a VSC would work. We can pit the soft way, get a new front wing on, and be rapid in the closing stages. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Sainz is on the cusp of being dropped though, he's got to be careful. I'm hoping he does get dropped. It's one less car for us to have to fight against, and it's a chance for Porsche to maybe close up on the back of him. If Leclerc got through there was every chance that it dropped Sainz, but because he couldn't get through, Sainz will close up and hang with them for another lap. And all the while they get that little bit closer to Gasly. Like I said, the win has gone, but if Sainz does get dropped, we have got a chance of the podium. Oh, and there we go. Sainz has been dropped. With a yellow in sector 2, someone going wide.
I think we've had a car
It's
run
Schumacher.
wide.
That's no help to us. Okay, let's start looking at lap times. So Leclerc and Verstappen aren't lapping that much faster than Gasly, but yeah, with the DRS overtakes, they are closing that gap down, you know, a little bit faster. With them holding each other up like this, it keeps that gap a little bit longer. Sainz is now lapping slower than Porsche. It's going to be a slog. There's what, 15 laps to go after this lap. He might be able to close the gap. It'll be a tall order. So let's see, 25-0 and then a 24-8. So the yellow flag in sector 2.
Someone's run wide.
Sonoda going wide. Through the Lesmos. Again, doesn't help us. Another lock-up in sector 1. This is going to be at the first chicane, I think.
Is that a lock-up?
It is, it's Ocon.
Let's have a look. Now have a watch of this. Looks like Ocon. That
Oh.
lock-up could have cost them dearly.
If that had been one of the Mercedes locking up, that would have been potentially
That's going to be a
what we
big
need,
blow
a
to the
safety
team.
car.
Will they be able to recover?
Unfortunately, the car that locked
We'll
up was the one
see.
at the front. But that's going to ruin Ocon's race. It's going to drop him off the back of that queue. Yeah, it's dropped him all the way down to 13th. And you can see Perez has not been able to recover. He's still down in 11th place. That gap is getting smaller, 1.3 seconds now. And there's Leclerc making the move. That will get him up onto the back of Gasly, I think, under braking. Ferrari's got much better low-speed acceleration than we do. And there you see, yeah, he's inside 1 second. So he will have DRS coming out of the low cars. But ironically, what we want is for Gasly to be overtaken. Because that will guarantee us the pace to be able to pull away enough from Sainz for that 5-second penalty to be cancelled out, assuming that we don't make another stop, which is looking more and more likely. They're both going to get me here. Nose to tail as they go straight through. That's okay. We can stay with them. And we can start to recharge.
Charge on, charge on.
Yeah, copy.
Gap to Porsche, from Porsche to Sainz is now under 5 seconds. I don't think, at this current pace, I don't think he's going to have enough laps to actually close up. Take a look at tyres. Oh wow, look at Sainz's tyres. Sainz is going to have to pit again. I didn't even think about looking at that. Sainz is definitely going to have to pit again. So, with that in mind, I think I might pit Porsche and Gasly. One of Sainz's tyres will be really badly, damaged from that collision and the lockup that resulted from the collision. So we take Sainz out of the equation. Where are we in terms of time? Let's see. We want leader timing, so it'll drop us out here around the Mercedes if we pick Gasly. Oh, someone spun. Who was it who spun?
It's just a yellow.
Here's the replay. Okay, so there we have the Alpine. That looked like a very nasty spin. No. The team are really disappointed.
Okay, we're going to go for it. We're going to box both cars before Sainz does. Sainz is going to have to box.
Box.
We're going to box both drivers.
And it's gonna be box.
The wind's gone,
box.
but if we get a safety car, we'll have served the penalty at the pit window. Oh, and there's Sainz pitting now. Oh, okay. So Sainz is going to come out around. Gasly's going to come out around Sainz because of his extra stop, but he's going to have a full battery to do it with.
Sainz in the pits.
Nearly.
And you can use the deploy.
Okay.
We're going to have fresh tyres for Porsche to push with.
Let's push, come on.
And they'll easily be able to make up the 10 seconds or so to Russell in the remaining laps.
Charge on. We need to push.
Okay.
Give us more lift off, please.
Copy.
Let's go recharge off.
That's a quick stop. What this will also do is it'll give us a real shot at fastest lap again. Fastest result for a result for Anthony at Monaco, 6th with Norris, 14th for Piastri. That's a good result. Alright, we're out just behind Perez. Excellent, 8th place. So we're comfortably ahead of Sainz. Porsche on the back of Vettel.
Need to drop the pace.
Okay.
Deliberately wanting to stay behind on this lap so I can push on the start finish straight for the fastest lap. There's Sainz, and Porsche is behind and closing in. You'll see him coming into shot in a minute.
Awesome, keep it up.
There he is. He's past Vettel.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
Push
Well,
hard.
here we go. Fastest lap attempt.
Copy.
Ah, damn it. They're blocked. Alright, we just have to do it under acceleration out of the chicane.
Okay,
I
that's
think we've
good,
just
very
given
good.
DRS to Perez. Yes, we did.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Porsche is 3.5 seconds behind Sainz. He's back in play with Sainz.
Red Bull gained a place.
And hopefully we'll get the move done on the start finish straight this time. There we go, into clean air. We didn't get the fastest lap, but we should do this lap.
Very good job.
I didn't change the wing because of that penalty. If we'd had a safety car, I would have changed the wing, but without it, it was just an extra 7 seconds, which we couldn't afford. But this is the battle for the podium now. We've got no time penalty. We're clear of Sainz. And we've got better tyres than the rest of the grid.
Okay, that's good, Pierre, very good. We don't have enough battery.
Copy.
And there we go, there's the
Very
fastest
good
lap.
Ciao, John.
A 1:23.1. That should hopefully be secure. Yeah, considerably... Well, actually, no, it's not that much faster than Sainz's last lap. Might not be secure. Taylor 2 seconds off the back of this battle now. He's catching. Just give him a little bit more impetus.
No lift and coast required.
Look at this battle for third. Look at it, it's crazy. 6 cars. Both Alphas, both Mercs. Perez and Gasly. All fighting over the podium here. Sainz, Ocon and Magnussen only 2 seconds further back. What a bonkers finish to this race. And we were saying how bad the Alphas were looking earlier this weekend. Look at them now. 3rd and 5th right now.
6 more laps. 6 more laps. Need to drop the pace.
Copy.
We just don't do anything the easy way, do we? We always seem to get some drama at the end of a race. Porsche's on the back of Magnussen. Excellent. Let's get him charging up.
Okay, it's recharge on.
Oh, he's passed already. Okay, let's not charge him up.
Recharge off. Nicely done.
Probably should have just left Porsche alone and not pitted him. I thought we'd actually be able to fight through the traffic a little bit better with him than
Can we
he
do
has
lift
done.
and coast?
Five more laps. 5 more laps.
Yeah.
1 click overtake available.
Okay.
Let's try and get ourselves positioned a little bit better in this train.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Okay, charge on.
Yeah.
Ah, don't
Charge
you
off.
do it, Bottas, don't you?
Okay.
Okay, keep it clean. Focus on the pace. Very good. 4 more. Charge on. Charge on.
Copy.
Right, there we go.
Okay, we need some deploy.
Yeah.
Charge on.
Oh man, look at this queue.
Good job.
This goes all
Recharge
the way
back
up to
on.
Gasly
Please
in
recharge
third.
on.
Meanwhile, Verstappen and Leclerc still scrapping tooth and nail for the win.
Three more laps, 3 more laps.
We can't go too early here. We've got to time this just right with Gasly.
Need a recharge off.
It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
Overtake available.
Can't get Porsche onto the
Okay,
DRS.
so work. Keep it up. We're currently running in P10.
It's close. He's back in the points. He's just missed out on DRS. Got to get back onto this crane, this train.
Let's lift off, please.
Okay.
So we keep focusing on the pace.
Oh, Russell, you ass. Oh, what a move. I can't believe we pulled that off. Can't see the replay if that pops up.
Looks like a good move for Williams. Let's take a look at the replay. Now look at this, it's Pierre Gasly.
Look how many cars are just concertinaing there. It's like the first lap.
Superb move.
Right, Gasly's going to sprint and hopefully he can get away.
Push now, push now.
Okay.
Come on, buddy. Keep pushing.
Right, he's already broken the DRS to Alonso. Excellent stuff. Can we get Porsche back up through these positions as well?
Yeah, okay.
Awesome. Keep it up.
Alright, he's past Sainz. Perez next.
And a new position
Come on, Teo.
just gained by Williams.
Keep your head in the game.
What happened to the Gasly penalty? I served it at the pit stop.
That was a very good lap.
I served the 5
One more
second
lap.
penalty. You know, penalties that are applied are time penalties that are either taken at a pit stop or applied at the end of the race if they haven't been served during the race. Basically, you can't touch the car for 5 seconds once it gets into the box. And seeing that Sainz was in a position where he had to pit because of his tyres, I knew that I could
Watch for fuel.
pit Gasly and get him back onto the podium position without having to worry about the podium. Get that out of the way. I would have changed his wing if he'd had a safety car as well, but he just couldn't. You know, couldn't take that extra 7 seconds or extra 6 seconds it would have taken to change the wing under racing conditions. Everything you got, please, Teo.
No more DRS.
Leclerc gets the win by a 1/10 of a second. Porsche's going to come home 10th. I probably should have left Porsche alone. Oh, has he gone wide? Have we got a chance here? No, we haven't. But we rescued P3 for Gasly. Porsche's out of fuel. He crosses the line and runs out of fuel.
Okay, and that is the checkered flag.
Pit stop was about 12, 13 laps ago, something like that. I was looking at the tyre wear and I noticed that Seitz's tyre wear was really bad because of the collision, and that he would have to pit again, which meant that I could afford to pit Gasly and get rid of the penalty and still be able to get away from Seitz again. And I figured he would have enough pace to get through the field, which he just about did. I gambled on Porsche to do the same, and I probably shouldn't
Well,
have
this
done with
weekend,
Porsche.
Pierre Gasly flew us to the stars. This podium is a true recognition of everyone who's been working so hard for this result.
Is Defoe happy? Their hero, Charles Leclerc, on the top step. We'll take third.
The Frenchman was in sublime form today.
I didn't think we'd get a win at the end of the race.
Here.
Going into the start of the race, I thought we'd be on for the podium, and we nearly threw it away with that crash. But we recovered nicely.
But there we see the three drivers with the biggest haul of points. And of course, the silverware to boot. A very impressive showing today for Williams.
They do say success breeds success, and I'm sure the team will be hoping that holds true.
At the end of the weekend, it's second place in the constructor standings for them.
Meet us next at the Marina Bay Circuit for a breathtaking race through the streets of Singapore.
So, third place and the fastest lap bonus point for Pierre Gasly. That helps immensely. We kind of shafted Teo a little bit, thinking that we could do with him what we were going to do with Pierre. I should have left him out. He probably would have kept track position. He might even have got on the podium. That was a little bit foolish on my part. So we threw away some constructors' points there. Let's take a look at the tables. A strong result for Alfa Romeo seems them closing up in the Constructors' Championship to Mercedes and pulling away from Alpine, who looked quite dangerous at one point, but in the end failed to score. Mercedes themselves had a decent result, 14 points to them. Lessens the impact of Alfa Romeo's good result. Red Bull get a decent result themselves, but they are still trailing us significantly, and Ferrari extend their gap by 10 points to us. We are losing ground. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, the gap between Pierre and Charles closes a little bit more. It's now 66 points. We lose 9 points, but we are still top. Seitz has a bad race, only getting 2 points, so he drops position to Charles, having been ahead of him going into the previous race. He's now dropped quite a lot of points to him over the last 2 races. Max actually gets some decent points. Sergio drops down the order a bit more in terms of his points with another poor result. Teo, we kind of shafted a little bit there. Hamilton with a decent little bit of points. Bottas closing back up on him and extends his gap by 3 points now over George Russell. And Alonso closes right up on the back of Russell as well, just 2 points between them now. Very close between 8th, 9th and 10th in the championship. In terms of drivers yet to score, as expected, it's still the 2 Aston Martins and Yuki Tsunoda. Lance Stroll has actually chipped in 4 points from his 16 races. Good for Lance. Right, let's see what we get. We get a bonus point for Teo. We don't get a point for Pierre or for Logan. Why did we not get him the full practice? He did his full 500 points. Why is he not? Okay. I thought we got him the full 500. Apparently we didn't. That's a bit annoying. But we do get a big payout. We do manage to hit our incentives, and we also hit our guarantee. We complete the finish position streak, just getting Teo into the top 10. So that gives us an extra 3.2 mil. So we end up with 8.275 mil at the end of the race. Very nice. Definitely need that money. So Singapore is up next. We've got 2.5 weeks until that race. We've also got the results of the financial changes through. Let's see what the grid have decided. And they have voted against it. Good. So Red Bull, Mercedes, Alpine and Aston all voted for the change. Don't know why Aston voted for it. It hurts them. Everyone else voted against. So no changes to the way the money is distributed. The top teams will not get that extra cash next season. Let's take a look at our warehouse. We damaged a chassis, so we are going to need another one. We are short on rear wings as well. We're not working on a rear wing yet either, so let's make sure we build an extra rear wing. We've only got, 2. We don't have a spare in stock. There we go. We have a need for more front wings again. We could probably do with an extra suspension as well. So in terms of the chassis, am I working on a chassis? I'm working on side pods, front wing and on the floor. Okay, so let's go ahead and manufacture 2 chassis. Get both of those in time for the Grand Prix. We'll also go ahead and make an extra suspension. Now I can't do front wings. We'll have to wait a few days for the front wings. There we go. Now we can do the front wings. And we will go ahead and what was it? It was side pods, underfloor. What was the other one? And a new front wing. 20 days out. Okay, we're going to get that after Singapore. So I'll just do 1 front wing. I don't want to overload with loads of extra front wings that are immediately going to be obsolete. So we'll just do 1 extra front wing. Let's take a look at points. We've got one for Teo to spend. Let's put that on his reactions. Pierre is 1 race away from another point. Logan is a little way away from another point. Let's take a look at our staff. Rest is still away off. Tondi is 2 weeks away. Josh is closing in on another point, and so is Pierre, so they're not too far off. Taking a look at our staffing performance, we're closing in on 90 on our tyre changing, which is good. We want to get that up there as quickly as possible. Let's take a look at our facilities. We have got that design centre upgrade going through that we started last time out. The factory is finally getting its upgrade. We are getting to the point where we are going to need to consider either upgrading or refurbing our CFD simulator. It's probably going to end up being a refurb because the upgrade's very expensive. We are refurbing our team hub, and we need to go ahead and refurbish our race sim. In terms of our other facilities, I'm not worried about this. We will do that when it gets all the way down. Everything else looks okay. I'm going to save the money. I'm not going to spend anything else. I am going to take another look. Actually, let's go back. Okay, so we've got to wait till the team hub and the race, well, the team hub itself I think is the important one, to wait and see whether or not that's going to be enough of a boost to our appeal for Norris to sign him. We'll see. So we probably won't find that out until after the Singapore Grand Prix. Let's get these spare parts out of the way. We could definitely do with an upgrade to our car. We do have new parts coming, and they will be the final upgrades for the car. But again, we won't get those till Suzuka. Oh, actually, we are going to get our side pods in time. I forgot we're getting our side pods in time for this race. So, that will give us a little bit of a boost. Board check-in, they have high confidence. Let's actually check in with the board. We haven't done that for a little while. Still delighted with the results. Happy with the objectives. We've achieved both. Well, so we've achieved our long-term objective. And we are on target to challenge for the constructors. So yeah, we have done both of our targets because we are comfortably above second. Finances, we had that little bit of debt earlier in the season when we bought those new engines. That is now taken care of. They're happy. They are finally satisfied. Let's go into car development, start a new research project so we can see what projects we have done so far. It's going to be very little. None. We've done one on the front wing, none on the rear wing, one on the side pods, one on the underfloor, none on the suspension. We have 25 days until the next ATR period, so I'm going to go ahead and do a suspension research project, and we are going to focus on optimizing brake cooling because we really need to. Our brakes are not great. 2 engineers, so they'll be available shortly after the ATR period starts. There we go. And we are now going to manufacture those new side pods. Okay, they look like they're actually going to hurt the car, which is a bit strange. Okay, let's try it this way. There we go, that's better. So that's what's currently fitted. Why is that showing worse? Okay, that doesn't make sense. But you can see we are going to get improvement across the board there. A little boost to our top speed, a little boost to our low speed cornering, a little bit of boost to our DRS top speed. Our dirty air cornering will improve, and we will improve our engine cooling as well. So we're going to go ahead and emergency manufacture 2 of these and immediately put those on the car, and then I'm going to go ahead and manufacture 1 spare part as well. Okay, emails are cleared. And we are now ready to go into the Grand Prix. So, quick double check of our staffing. We have a new point for Diego Tondi now. Where do I want to put that point? I'm going going to put that on drag reduction, I think. Try and make the car a bit slippier. In terms of where our car sits with the new upgrade, we are sitting slightly better now on medium speed cornering. We are now second on medium speed corners. We have lost a little bit in dirty air medium speed cornering, but we have improved our acceleration and top speed in the DRS. Unfortunately, we have once again lost a bit more straight line speed, a bit more top speed to the rest of the field. So, you know, those upgrades can't come soon enough. The new front wing, which will help our speed, our cornering speeds, it'll help our brake cooling, and then the underfloor, which will hopefully really improve our top speed a bit as well and help reduce some of the drag on the car. Let's see where we stand in relation to Ferrari. They are looking mighty strong at this stage. Third in top speed, first in acceleration, first in low and medium speed cornering, third behind only us in the high speed stuff. Their brakes are a lot better than ours as well. Let's take a look at Red Bull. Red Bull looking very fast in a straight line. Their cornering not so good compared to us and Ferrari, at least in the high speed stuff and medium speed stuff, much stronger than us in the low speed. And then their dirty air cornering, very, very strong. And again, their brakes, very good as well. They're actually better than the Ferrari's brakes. So, it's going to be a very interesting last few races of the season. We are just, you know, closing in on those last upgrades. We'll get our underfloor there on the day of the Japanese Grand Prix weekend. They will be immediately emergency manufactured and pressed into service, and 2 days before that we get our front wing as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting Singapore Grand Prix. See where we sit on that one. There's a lot of low speed stuff there which is going to hurt us. That could be a difficult race for us, but when we get to Suzuka, I'm expecting us to hopefully be mighty again. So that is the end of tonight's stream for Williams. We will be with Haas tomorrow, finishing off the close season and start of the new season going into Bahrain with the alternate timeline Haas mile. And then we'll do Haas again on Thursday. And then Friday we'll do something a little different. I'll pick one of my other career files, probably the Mercedes file at random, depending on how I say at random. It depends on how I'm feeling and where I am with those files, but it'll probably be the Mercedes file. And we'll do that on Friday, and then next week, Monday, Tuesday again will be Williams, Wednesday, Thursday will be Haas, and Friday will be the start of a new career. I'll be putting up a poll, give you the chance to decide what that career will be, and that will be our Friday streaming going forward. So until tomorrow, thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more F1 Manager 22 very soon.